Hello stamping friends, it's Angie here with Too Cool Stamping, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. If you do not have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. Excuse me, we're here again this week for another live class. I am here every Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and we do a little class with some projects. I usually have a kit available afterwards, and we will do so again today. In fact, I have two different classes that pertain to today's class, so stay tuned for that. So before we get started, let me just remind you, because we just have a few days left of the Designer Series paper sale. So you can go to my website, toocoolstamping.com, and print out a flyer to see what papers are on sale. This is only through the end of October, so just a few more days left of the sale. There's 15 different styles of Designer Series paper, all at 15% off. It's a great time to stock up, and there's some really timely papers in there. In fact, today we're going to be using several of those papers. I just wanted to have one last hurrah with all of the sale price Designer Series paper. So we're going to use 'Tis the Season Designer Series paper. We'll use some plaid tidings. Let's see, what else are we using? Some Poinsettia Place Designer Series paper, Heartwarming Hugs, and I think I might even have one or two cards with the Snowflake Splendor. So lots of different papers we're going to be using today, just to remind you that it's one last little chance here. We just have until October 31st for that Designer Series paper sale. So stock up, get your papers now. It's a great week to buy. And remember, when you order from me, toocoolstamping.com, at the Shop Now link, you can earn this week's free 5-card class kit. So what is that kit? Well, we're going to talk today about the Tag Buffet stamp set. I don't know if you guys have purchased anything like that before, and I don't know if this, I can't remember whether this is backwards or not, but it's on, let's see, it's on page 5 of our mini catalog, and it's the stamp set that goes along with the Tag Buffet project kit. And so it has all the sentiments that you'll need for the project kit. And this kit is awesome. When I flip the camera around, I'll show you what that looks like. But the stamp set itself is amazing because it has a lot of other images, not just sentiments, and it's much more versatile than you might think. So we're going to do some projects with that so that you can kind of stretch your versatility when you purchase that project kit. You wouldn't even have to purchase the actual project kit. You could just go for the stamp set and make the cards. But the project kit with all of the 30 tags, it's a great, great add-on. So we're going to be working on that today, and I have a lot to get to. Like I said, I'll have 2 different class kits, a 5-card class kit that you can earn for free with a $35 purchase like we normally do each week. And then I'm going to have another kit that actually is going to include that stamp set, and it'll give you a chance to create all of the cards that you'll see today on today's live class. So okay, without any further ado, we're going to flip around the camera. I see there already are a few people here. Welcome to our class, and hang on for a minute while we flip the camera around. All right, let's get everything all set up. I hate this part. It's clunky, but you gotta do what you gotta do. All right, get another light on the subject. So as I mentioned, we're going to be working with the Tag Buffet stamp set, and that goes with this really cute Tag Buffet project kit, and it really kind of stretches the whole kit. It allows you to make a lot more, gives you some project ideas beyond the scope of the project kit. So before we get started with the stamp set and all of the projects today, I wanted to show you the kit because it's absolutely adorable. You get this really pretty box. It's kind of like a mini paper pumpkin box, really pretty on the inside and out. You could use it as a gift box or a little storage box afterwards. So you always have instructions to put these together, but they don't need a lot of instructions. These are very, very simple to put together. Something that you could do with your child. You could do it as an activity with an elderly person. Just really simple to put together, and it's also fast. So if you just want pretty, fast tags to create, this is the way to go. I love that these tags are so big. They're really a nice size, and each one of them is a 2-part tag. So if you wanted to, you could actually not put them together as the instructions indicated. You could use this background piece to create a different tag. Just mix and match and do lots of fun things with it. So, and you can see the second tag has it has some die cutting and some gold accents on it. It all has a bunch of gold accents. Everything is pre-printed, so you just pop these little ornament shapes out. You're going to stamp that sentiment and put it right over the top, and all of those parts and pieces come in the kit along with some gold twine that you can use. So they're just beautiful. I love these these tags. There's 30 in the kit, so you're going to get 6 different styles, 5 each of each style. So here's the first one. Then we also have some presents here, and I just made them exactly like the instructions say, so they're all the same. But I love the colors are just nice and bright and traditional. Again, they just kind of flow freely there. Some cardinals, these are so pretty. So you got 5 of those, 5 of the stockings. And I love this tag. It has some stars, and you can see there's little holes in the stars so that the background shows through. So you get 5 of those. And again, you don't have to do it just like the instructions. If you wanted to get more creative, you could mix and match. You could actually put the tags on a card. So you could just make cards out of them, make these into a bow instead of, for tying onto your present. So that is just lots of fun things. Okay, and then this is the last one with the pine tree. So lots and lots of tags. There's 30 altogether. You also get, this is how much twine you have left over, so you have quite a bit that you can use on some other tags. You get one extra piece to stamp on in case you make a mistake. And then you do get some additional pine trees. Here you get 5 additional pre-printed pines with the gold accent, so you can make some additional projects. I was gonna make some, and I just ran out of time. But I think that would look so pretty on just like a white background with some twine wrapped around it and a little sentiment. I'll have to make that and put it on on the Too Cool Stamping website. So you get all of the parts and pieces to make these in the kit. The stamp set, the Tag Buffet stamp set, does come separately, and that's what we're going to focus on today. So for the project kit, you're going to use all of the different sentiments. You can use your to and from on the back of your tags, so you'll be ready to go with who you're sending it to. And just really, really versatile. But we're going to use the other images that come along with this stamp set to show you how to make some holiday cards that will really expand your whole project kit. You'll be able to use it in a lot of different ways. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, just like last week, we're going to be doing a lot of stamping blends. So if you like to color, we're going to be definitely right up your alley. So the first one's going to be pretty simple. We're going to start with a real red card base, and this card base is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Set that aside. We're going to stamp a background with the leaf image from the Tag Buffet stamp set, and we're just going to do it with the same Pear Pizzazz layer. So this is a 3 3/4 by 5 inch layer of Pear Pizzazz, and I'm just going to kind of rotate and stamp all over the paper. So you'll notice that when I do a random stamping, I like to start kind of going diagonally, and I also start in the center and work outward. That way I know I'm not going to have any blank spots on the inside. I won't have any trapped white space. So just keep working outward from the center. Just rotating a little bit here and there. And before you know it, it's all filled up. And don't forget when you're random stamping to stamp off of your sheet so that it looks like it's kind of cut out of a piece of decorative paper. Now, I normally would put a piece of copy paper or something over my piercing mat, which I always use the piercing mat with the photopolymer because it's going to give it just a little bit of extra cushion. It allows me to have a nice transfer of ink onto the cardstock. If you do happen to get any ink on your piercing mat, it comes right off because it's a water-based ink, so you don't have to worry about that. You can just run it under some water and just kind of, you know, maybe rub it with your fingers, but it should come right off. The only thing that's not going to come off is stamping blends don't come off very easily, and also StazOn because those are alcohol based. Okay, let's get that on a background here. So we have this one stamped up. We have another layer that is 3 3/8 by 5 1/8 in Whisper White. So we're just going to have a little white layer that pops. I'm going to put a sentiment on the bottom, and this is a piece of Sahara sand, 3 3/4 by 3, what is it? 3 3/4 by 7/8, I believe. All right, and that's going to just be stamped in some Memento black ink with the Merry Christmas sentiment. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. Woohoo! All right, stamp that right over the top there. And set that aside, we'll need that in just a minute. We're gonna add this right along the bottom. Okay, and then we can add this to our card base. So have you guys tried the seal adhesive yet? I absolutely love it. It's so secure, so much better than our previous adhesive, worth the price to me. Okay, next for our focal point, I already have a Stitch Shapes oval in Whisper White. It's the largest one, and we're gonna stamp our ornament. There's two main images in this kit, the ornament, or the stamp set, the ornament and the stocking. So I'll be showing you several ways that you can use those. We're going to top this with a little bow, a little stamped bow, and this time we're using Real Red. Just going to put that right on the top, and then I'm going to just freehand. If you wanted to, you could use a ruler, but I'm just going to use a bullet tip end of my cherry cobbler and just make a little string, that goes on top of there. Could have done a little better job with that, but it's handmade. That's what it's supposed to look like. Okay, then we're going to use our Stampin' Blends to color in our ornament. So I'm going to use Real Red, I'm going to use Old Olive, and then I'm also going to have a little soft suede here. This is just for the little metal piece at the top. It's kind of a gold color. So I color that in quickly. And then let me show you, if you watched last week, you already have an idea of how to do coloring with Stampin' Blends. This is actually, if you don't feel very confident in coloring with Stampin' Blends, this is a great set to get you started because there's just a big enough area here that you can practice on the shading techniques. So what I like to do is I like to start with the lighter color. So in this case, light Real Red. Color in the whole thing with my brush tip and just kind of paint it on lightly. Don't really scrub with that tip or you're going to ruin the ends. Then you can use either side of either the brush tip end or the bullet tip end to add some darker right on the sides here. And then I'm going to go back to the light, and I don't know if you know this, but the thick line means the brush tip end. There's also a little picture, and the thin means the bullet tip end. So we're going to use that light bullet tip end and go right over where those two different colors meet, and it just kind of blends out that stroke line. so it has a nice good shading. And then I just do it kind of a little once over. If you wanted to, I don't get really technical. Some people are just absolutely brilliant at coloring. I am not, so I feel like I'm a good person to show you anybody can do it because I don't. I try to stay in the lines and that's about as good as I get, but there's some that actually leave a highlight of white in it and just make it absolutely like so realistic and gorgeous. It's crazy, but you don't have to do all of that. If you can do it and you're artistic that way, and you can really see the light, then it's gonna look phenomenal. And this is, like I said, it's a great set to practice on, but I just do I just get it done and do the basics, and I do a little tiny bit of shading. So again, this time I'm using the light Old Olive over the whole thing. I'm using some dark Old Olive for some of the shading, and then going back to the light Old Olive bullet tip and just blending out that color so that it doesn't have any stroke lines. Okay, so there is our ornament, and I just left a little white strip. You can cover that in if you color it in if you want to. I also like adding just a little bit of Wink of Stella. It's my favorite. If you have the gumption, you just might want to add a little shimmer. It always spices it up just a little bit. All right, so that's it. We're gonna just add that with some dimensionals. And we'll finish up this card. I just love how fast this one comes together. So pretty. We're gonna finish it up with, do I have a little, I thought I did. I forgot my little jewels. Here's some real red rhinestones. I'm just gonna show you the jewel because I used the Wonderful Gems, which is a little bit larger than the red rhinestones. So you can see it's kind of faceted and it has a little bit of glimmer, glitter in the gem as well. So I just finished it up with that. So there's our first card. And I, of course, did a too cool version of that in another color combination. This time I did Bermuda Bay as my card base. I did a 3-color combination here so I could include the Bermuda Bay, and everything else is the same. So I love how you can get a really different look just by changing one little color out. So that's our first set of cards, and this card is going to be the one that is in your 5-card kit. Of course, if you get the full kit, you're going to get both cards. All right. Next up, we have a little fancy fold. We're going to stick with the ornament for now. This is Old Olive. It is 4 1/4 by 11. I have scored it already at 5 1/2 and also 6 3/4. So there's another score line here. And I will show you why. Let me close my pad up here so it doesn't get too dried out. Now the second score line is actually where that card's going to open. So I'm going to just kind of crease that with the bone folder. So it's going to go like this. So we're going to want to put some adhesive here. And I like to use, you could use the Seal Plus if you wanted to. I'm actually just going to use some tear and tape because I'm going to use some tear and tape for another part of this card. So I just got it out and decided to use it for all of it. So we just want to close this up. We're not going to use this little piece. We're going to kind of make a shortened opening. I love this just as something a little bit different. We'll decorate that little strip on the side. I have a piece of 1 inch by 4 inch Mossy Meadow, and I've already embossed that with the Wrapped in Texture embossing folder. So you can see I love that beautiful texture. almost like a mini basket weave. So that just adds a little bit of contrast there to the side. Next, I'm going to use some Heartwarming Hugs Designer Series paper. Again, this paper is on sale until the end of the month only. So if you're going to get your orders in to get your sale paper, be sure to do it before October 31st ends. So I'm going to use these diagonal lines. I love them. Again, Heartwarming Hugs. Just add that right to this part. This is 4 by 4. I don't think I mentioned that. Next, we're going to make a little focal point here. So this is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And we're going to stamp that with a different sentiment called "'Tis the Season." And we'll do that in Real Red. We'll stamp that right on the bottom here. Perfect. Now, I've already done some coloring since I just showed you how to color the two ornaments. I colored those up pretty much the same that I did on the first card. So I'm using the Real Red and the Old Olive Stampin' Blends. I did use the light Smoky Slate for the top. Just to show you that you can use, Smoky Slate is great, or bronze is good, or soft suede, just to kind of give you that metallic-y look. And then I did use the Wink of Stella. You can see that shimmer on there. And I hand cut them. There's not any die cuts for these, but I did go ahead and hand cut those. They're pretty simple shapes, so not a problem. So for this one, I wanted to actually use string to make it look like they were hanging. And sometimes that's a little intimidating for some people, I think, but I'm just gonna make it super easy. I used, you could actually use the thread that's the leftover thread that you have that's in your kit if you wanted to. It's very similar. I think that it's just a little bit, I don't know if it's exactly the same. What I'm actually using is from the Forever Fern trim pack. So I'm just gonna put some string on the back of both of these. And I'm going to use a little piece of tear and tape just to hold it in place. You could use Seal or the Seal Plus. I like the tear and tape because it just physically holds it down with a piece of tape. You could also just use, Scotch tape or something as well. You don't need any fancy tape for this. All right, so that's stuck to our ornaments. Now we're going to position those, and I think what I might do is I'm just going to go ahead and put those on. I think I'm just going to put them on. I did it differently when I was creating the card, but you can take this backing off, add a little bit more adhesive to make sure it's going to stick nice and good. And then just position them right on your card. If you wanted to pop them up, you could do that as well. But you might as well use that tear and tape since it's already there being sticky. There we go. Add a little bit more. And we'll put that right up here. So that positioning is nice, and then we're just going to flip these around on the back and again use another piece of tear and tape just to make sure that it's going to stick in a lovely way. So position that where you want it, flip it around the back. Oh, and let me get my tape ready. Flip that around the back. And then you might even want to cut some of the excess off if you want to. All right, so I'm going to put a piece of Real Red. This is, let's see, 3 3/8 inch square. And put that on my card front here. And then we'll pop up this piece with some dimensionals. I like popping up a piece like this because of the thread. That way it's not bulky when you adhere it to the card. Lots of dimensionals. All right, and then we're going to finish up this card. This is actually really pretty just the way that is. I am going to finish up though. I did tie a couple of little bows in that same Forever Fern trim. Again, you can use the same thread that's with your kit, your tag buffet kit. We're just going to add those to the top to just kind of finish them off. And again, when you put these on a glue dot, you kind of want to pinch the glue dot so that it goes underneath that trim because it's so skinny there. And if you have any sticky, I just kind of tap it a few times. That gets the sticky off of it. And there you go. So that is, you can finish it up with a little gold gem, a little gilded gem to match the gold. And then if you want, don't forget to use these images just to add some fun to the insides of your cards as well. So that is our second one. We have a Too Cool version. This one I did in Night of Navy. I did the Snowflake Splendor Designer Series paper, also on sale. I colored my ornaments in with Highland Heather and Balmy Blue, used a little bit of the Snowflake Splendor trim. So you don't have to use the thread. You can use something a little bit thicker. I did that, and then instead of tying a bow, which I thought was going to be too bulky and overpowering, I just tied it in a knot and then glue dotted that on. And then I added some rhinestones that I had colored in with the Balmy Blue. Oh, and the 'Tis the Season is in Pacific Point, so that all matches. I didn't do the inside of that one. So that's the second one. You're going to get this version in your 5-card kit. All right. I really love this next one. I hope you guys love it too. So this one, we're going to work with the stocking now. This is a cherry cobbler card base. 5.5 by 8.5, score at 4 1/4. Next, I have a background that is 4 by 5 1/4, and I've already embossed that with a subtle 3D embossing folder, so you can just barely see it. Like the name says, it's very subtle. We're going to add a piece of the plaid tidings paper on the back. I love that back. On the bottom here. And this is a 2 by 4 piece of Designer Series paper. Again, plaid tidings on sale. All of these papers are on sale just through October 31st. We're going to add this down at the bottom. I love that pattern, so pretty. And then just a little strip of the Mossy Meadow going across. And we'll add that to our card base. Whoops! Sometimes when you have, I've noticed this adhesive, let me get it going again here, hopefully. When it's on a texture like that, the fibers from the paper, because you have put that texture on it, are a little weaker. And because the adhesive is so strong, it pulls that right up. So if you ever have that problem, you just need to go a little bit slower when you're adding your adhesive. It's just really good adhesive. Okay, here's our background. Now I'm going to make a little tag, since we're talking about tag buffet. This is a 2 by 4.5 inch piece of Whisper White. I'm going to use, I can't remember the name of this. It's the detailed, I think it's called Detailed Tag Topper. And as long as you have it 2 inches or under, you can slide it right in there all the way, punch down, and you have a cute little tag topper on there. So that's going to be our focal point area. I'm going to stamp that with our stocking in Memento Black. So let's put it, let's put it about right here. We're going to add a little sentiment on the bottom. This one says, "With love for you." Isn't that sweet? Which is perfect for a tag. And this is stamped in Mossy Meadow this time. Okay. Next, I'm going to, let's see, I guess I didn't bring, I was going to show you how to stamp. There's two different images here. The holly leaves, and then also the little berries that go with the holly leaves. I already stamped those. I was trying to save some time with all of the coloring. So I've already stamped those on Whisper White, colored them in with Mossy Meadow Light and Cherry Cobbler Light, and then cut all that out as one piece. So that is going to be used. Also, we're going to do a little paper piercing, not piercing, piecing. Paper piecing on this one. So I took another piece of the plaid tidings, and I'm going to ink up my stocking, and I'm going to just stamp that right on top of that paper. And then I'm going to use my super sharp paper snips to cut right along the center of that stocking. So I don't need the toe and the heel and the cuff. I just want the center. And if you want, you can actually use the toe, heel, and cuff on another card so that you can kind of mix and match. But I'm cutting right on that line, so not outside of it, not too far inside of it, just kind of right on the line. So it's really easy to cut out. Okay, so now that is going to go right over the top. Whoops, I got to cut the heel out. Thought I was done. All right, so there's our little heel cut out. So that's what it's going to look like. We're going to do a little coloring before that. Let's do our, let's see, did I bring it over? No. How about some cherry, or some real red again, and we'll shade it with Cherry Cobbler since we have a Cherry Cobbler card base. So just color all the heel, the toe, and the cuff with your light red, light real red. And then we'll shade it, if I can find some, let's see, here we go. Here's our light Cherry Cobbler. We'll put a little bit of shading on that, on the side, a little bit on the toe, a little bit on the heel, and then go back and use our bullet tip like we did before to smooth out that color. Now again, I'm mixing and matching my colors. I've been doing that a lot lately. I forgot to bring both of my Cherry Cobblers over. I think it would have looked better because it would have matched the background a little bit better. But you can mix and match, and it's fun to do that too. Okay, so there is our colored in stocking. We're going to add this little paper piecing right over the top there. Oh, I just love how that turned out. So cute. And then just add this. I might actually put a glue dot behind here. It's kind of small. So we'll put a couple glue dots. Remember, you don't have to touch the glue dots. Just put it right on the glue dot and pop it off, and it's ready to go. And then I'm just going to add this right on top of my stocking. Oh, it's so cute. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to add this to here with my dimensionals. Lots of dimensionals again. Do you guys use as many dimensionals as I use? I feel like I just am always popping things up. I always have people in my class, did you put dimensionals behind that layer? And I always say, when in doubt, pop it up, because pretty much that's what I do. I pop it up. All right, we'll add this little layer here. And then I already have a little red sheer ribbon that I've tied into a bow. I love this ribbon. It's so elegant and beautiful. I'm gonna put that up here. We'll finish it off with a few rhinestone jewels. Just gonna put a couple over here. You could put it on, whoops, on the stocking if you wanted to. So, so pretty. I love it. I love it. It kind of has a folksy look to it. I'll show you my other version. This time I did it in Pretty Peacock. I used Sahara Sand for the background, a different pattern from the plaid tidings. And this time I used the heel and the toe and the cuff for my paper piecing. So you can see how if you use it for one, you can make the other one with the heel and toe and cuff. So you just switch it out, really cute. These leaves are with shaded spruce this time, and I put the Pretty Peacock and Old Olive reversible ribbon on there. I think I colored some Pretty Peacock rhinestones to put on top of that black strip. I love that black strip, just kind of makes it pop. So that's my second version of that one. So this is the version that you'll get in your 5-card kit, and then you'll get both of them in your 12-card kit. All right, we still have a couple more. Hope you can stay with us. All right, this one begins with a Mossy Meadow card base, just the traditional 5.5 by 8.5, score at 4 1/4. We have a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of Whisper White we're going to start with. Oh my goodness, I forgot my designer series paper, and it's super important. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot it, and it's not here. Okay, I'm going to describe it to you, which isn't going to work as well, but it will take me too long to go find the paper and cut it. So here's what the card looks like. And this is so simple to make. This is actually this paper is a 4 by 4 piece of, excuse me, Heartwarming Hugs designer series paper. So it's pushed together, and then I just made one slit at a diagonal. Excuse me. So I put my 4 by 4 sheet. So this is, imagine that this is over here. And I just cut on my trimmer at any diagonal. You don't want it to be cut too wide, but any diagonal. And then you just pull the pieces apart, and then you line them up flush with the top of the paper for the top piece and the bottom of the paper for the bottom piece. I'm so sorry I don't have that paper. I don't know why I forgot that. But anyway, it's really simple to do that. And then you just have a little strip in the middle that is the white piece, and that's the part that's showing. And you can, I really need to go show you what that looks like. If you can hold on for 1 second. Okay, I'm so sorry. So I had to do it. I'm like, do I see that paper? Do I see it? Is it right there? Yes, it is. So I ran and did it. Anyway, so here's a better visual. So it starts out as the 4 by 4, and you just cut it at a diagonal. It doesn't have to be any specific diagonal. I usually have maybe about 1 inch over here and 1 inch to 2 inches on the other side. So all of your diagonals will be pre-cut for your card kit, so you don't have to worry about that. I'll have it all done for you. No anxiety there. I just want to show you how this worked, so I apologize. I hate having to run away from the camera, but you just got to do what you got to do sometimes. And you guys love it when I mess up, right? Okay, so we're gonna add all this with our seal. All right, now you can see that we have that little strip in the center, and we're gonna put our Merry Christmas. We gotta clean that up. I think we had black on it last time, so let's stamp it off and then clean it up with our Simply Chamois. And we're gonna add some cherry cobbler. Okay, we're gonna center that top to bottom and then make it go clear over to the left as much as possible. So there's no surprise in this card. You guys get to see what I'm doing on the way. It's all right. Sometimes the surprise is spoiled. So I'm putting a little bit of seal on this strip. It's a 3/8 strip of gold foil. Sometimes seal doesn't like to stick on the back of those strips of foil just because it's a little bit smooth. You can use liquid multi-purpose glue if you wanted to. That would work really well. Or I just try to do dabs of the seal. That way it seems to catch a little bit better. All right, so that was a 3/8 inch, and then I also have another piece here of Mossy Meadow. And this one is a 1/2 inch. So as you can see, I'm just following that diagonal and then just trimming the edges off. And you get that stuck on your scissors a little bit. All right, so that is our background piece. Add that on. I love that gingham. So this is the Heartwarming Hugs again for that designer series paper, and that is on sale. So we'll finish this one up with a little stocking that I've already done the coloring on. Stampin' Blends are awesome. And again, we're going to use that same sheer ribbon. So I have one of those already ready to go. Just use a little glue dot to add that. Add a few red rhinestones to the bottom. And we are good to go. Love it. I love that really quick, just that little bit of a diagonal is so interesting and looks amazing. I did another version with Pretty Peacock and a different color of the plaid tidings paper. This time I used a shorter sentiment so I could bring that stocking down. I thought that was really cute. I also used silver instead of gold and shaded spruce to match, and colored it just a little bit different to match the different color combination. So this is the one that you're going to get in your 5-card kit, and you'll get both in your 12-card kit. All right, we have one more to share with you. We're going to assume we have all the pieces this time. This time we have shaded spruce as our background, as our card base. I've scored it a little bit differently this time. We're going to do a gatefold card. So I've scored it at 2 1/8. And I don't know what this measurement is, but I went 2 1/8, and then I flipped it and did 2 1/8. So 2 1/8, and then when you do your fold, you want to make sure that you, before you crease it, get everything nice and flush in the middle, then crease it with your bone folder. That way everything's going to meet up nicely in the center and line up correctly. So that is our gatefold card base. I already have some 'Tis the Season designer series paper. This is 1 7/8 by 5 1/4 for both pieces. So this, I love this paper. This is 6 by 6 paper with a lot of little pattern paper in colors that are very, you know, traditional and festive for Christmas, and so you can mix and match a lot of different things. So it is one of my favorite paper packs for Christmas for sure. Just so versatile. And guess what? It's on sale. All these papers that I'm using today are on sale. Okay, so there is our gatefold. So pretty. I love gatefold cards because you can show off the paper. And there's lots of different patterns that you can use. I will tell you that for your card kit, you are not guaranteed these particular patterns. I'm going to try to keep those patterns, but you'll have very similar patterns that will look beautiful together. All right, next we have a piece of Whisper White here, and this is 3 by 4 1/4. We're going to stamp that, this great big sentiment. It's actually a little paragraph that you can put on the insides of your cards, but you can also use it as a focal point, which is what we're going to be using it on today. So I'm going to ink that up with some cherry cobbler. We're going to stamp that right in the center of this piece. And then next, we're going to, if I can find here it is. Trying to find my little leaves. I gotta clean them up a little bit. We still have Pear Pizzazz on there, so let's clean that up with the Stampin' Chamois. Simply Chamois. All right, we're gonna stamp this leaves image in Shaded Spruce, and I'm gonna stamp 2 at the bottom. So one goes pointing down, one's gonna go pointing up, and then I'm gonna flip it around. Same on this side, and then pointing down on this side. All right, then we're going to add our little berries image in cherry cobbler. We'll just kind of sneak those right in between our leaves. So pretty. Then we're just going to use some light shaded spruce, and you'll go through and color each one of these leaves in. You could also, if you want a lighter color, you could use the Wink of Stella brush and just color right over the leaves. It will pull in some of that ink from the outlined image, and it'll be a lighter color green, and it'll be really shimmery. So that's another way that you could do it as well if you don't have a shaded spruce blends pen marker. So rather than color all those in, I think you'll get the point of that. And then we're also going to add light cherry cobbler to our little berries, like so. And you'll finish the top with that as well. And then you're going to add it to a little mat. So this is going to be a 3 1/8 by 4 3/8. And then we'll use some dimensionals again. Yippee, dimensionals. Now, did you see what I did there? I want to only put dimensionals on this side of the thing, so I'm going to flip it 180 so I can know what my positioning is. I know that I'm not going to go over too far and put dimensionals on the other side by accident. We don't want to do that. finish this up. Dun, da, da, da. Let me show you what the finished one looks like. So here's one that is all nice and colored. I did put a little bit of Wink of Stella on there. I don't know if you can see that shimmer. I put some holiday rhinestones in shaded spruce on there as well. And it makes for a nice little gatefold card. You'll get the inside piece too, so you can decorate that with some more of the leaves if you want to. I just didn't have time to finish the insides. So let me show you the other Too Cool version. This one is in Mossy Meadow. I used a piece of the plaid tidings. I used another piece of Mossy Meadow on this side with the Forever Greenery embossing folders, and colored everything with Mossy Meadow and Cherry Cobbler, and a black mat for a nice pop of contrast with that one, and just regular rhinestones with these. So I love how that one turned out as well. This is the one that you're going to get in your 5-card kit. It'll be your last card from your 5-card kit, and then this one will be in the larger 12-card kit. Now I wasn't gonna show how to do the last card because I think it's pretty obvious, but I'm going to show you a couple more projects here. So this one, again, you can use the ornaments. I stamped those in soft suede this time, colored them with soft suede and real red and not pear pizzazz, old olive. Put them on a nice soft suede card base for a completely different, more rustic, natural elegance type of a look. I'm using some poinsettia place paper, which again, on sale. And I topped the ornaments with some linen thread, also some red rhinestones. I wanted to point out this wishing you lots of love and happiness. That's the sentiment that we just used, just the bottom of that sentiment. So I just had a piece of cardstock here that was just the right amount of width that and you can see right through the photopolymer, so you can go right down on top of that and just get just part of that sentiment on there. So that worked out really, really well. Yeah, and then the background here, the Stitch Shapes circle is with the soft sea foam color that matches the paper. So I love how that turned out, a little bit different in as far as color combination, but still very festive. And then my Too Cool version is in Night of Navy. I used the In Good Taste Designer Series paper on sale. That's the great big pack that you'll love that one. So I used that. I colored with Night of Navy and Seaside Spray, and I used a Seaside Spray oval, not oval, it's a circle on the background. Also the Seaside Spray ribbon. Again, this is the larger ribbon, so just tie it in a knot and make a little faux bow just with the knot. So these cards will not be in the 5-card kit, but both will be in the 12-card kit. So let's go over again what you're going to get in that 5-card kit. So we have the one we just did. We have these, and then also our ornaments. So all 5 of these will come in your 5-card kit. The kit includes all the supplies, all the cardstock, all the pre-cut cardstock paper embellishments that you need. All you need is the stamps, ink, and adhesive to create the kit. So you'll get everything you need. In order to get that kit, you just need to place an order with me at toocoolstamping.com. Click on the Shop Now link. It needs to be a $35 minimum order, and don't forget to use that host code, PTAWRD2X. That's the host code for this week's class for the Tag Buffet 5-card kit. Let me just also remind you, if you're going to be placing a larger order of over $150, do not use the host code. I will know to send you the card kit, and when you don't use the host code, then you'll be able to and you reach that level, you'll be able to get some Stampin' Reward dollars to spend for some bonus products. So that's a great little incentive to get to that level. But anything under 150, make sure you use the host code. I'll be sending these out. Let's see, what's my timing here? So we have until, this offer is going to run from now through November 4th. And then I'll be mailing those out on November 7th. So that'll be the Saturday, next Saturday. So as far as the 12 card kit, let me just give you a little heads up of what that is. That's going to include all of the cards that you saw today. And that will also include the stamps and a package of the red rhinestones. So you get a full package of those that you can use as embellishments. And the stamp set, it does not include the tag buffet project kit that we talked about earlier, but there is an add-on. So if you do want to add the kit right onto your class order, you can do that as well. Now, I don't want to make it too confusing on this video, so if you want more information about the full class kit, I'm going to have that available on my TooCoolStamping.com website later today. So you can look for that. And again, that's the one that has all of the Too Cool versions of all of the cards. So you'll get each one of these. A lot of them are blue. I think they're all blue. It's kind of like you get the blue version versus and both of these. The blue version and the traditional cards as well. And these cards are exclusive to that 12 card kit. Now, the other thing about the 12 card kit, you're going to get the envelopes that go with it, and you'll also get a PDF to do all of the different versions. So that's a little extra bonus for that set as well. Let's see. I'm sure you guys are going to want to know about pricing for that. And what did I do with my pricing? Like I said, it's all going to be on my TooCoolStamping.com website. The price is going to be for the stamp set, all the card parts, and the red rhinestones. That's going to be $45. If you need it shipped to you or mailed to you, that's going to be $8 in addition to that. And then if you want the complete add-on kit, that includes the tags, all the parts and pieces to make the tags in this really pretty box, then that will be $80 plus $8 in shipping if you want to have it mailed to you. Again, you're going to find all those details for that larger class on my website later today, TooCoolStamping.com. All right, everybody, hopefully that wasn't too confusing, and I hope that you really enjoyed today's cards. I had so much fun putting these together. I love when I can kind of expand upon an already cool idea that Stampin' Up! Has with the tag set and make it even more fun and versatile for you. Have enjoyed it, and I hope that you have a great week. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining me today, spending some time with me while I get creative, and hopefully you'll find some inspiration there too. Join me next week on Thursday, 9 a.m. Eastern Time for our next live class. Until then, this is Angie with Too Cool Stamping. Thanks. Bye-bye.